As the leaves were barely beginning to bud, most northbounders in the AT class of 2025 made their way to northern Georgia. Donning their forest green tags, they took their first couple steps on what many would consider the journey of a lifetime. Today, we'll hear from 12 hikers at the very beginning of their hike, either February 28th, March 1st, or March 2nd, and then months and thousands of miles later.
It's getting the butterflies, all the emotion. It's kind of overwhelming. It's not really any one kind of thing going through my mind. Just can't wait to get out there and get it going. The health benefits mainly is the main thing. It's just amazing out here, and couldn't think of anything else better to do.
Phil, later given the name MLB, was pushing himself for a fast pace and had quite an eventful journey because of it. He writes, "This was my third AT, second one I would finish. I wanted to keep a calendar year triple crowner pace, as that is my goal one day. I averaged 25 miles a day. It was cold, wet, and treacherous. The first night, same day as the interview, water from my water bottle leaked and froze onto my gear. Trails were buried in water with freezing rain pouring down on top of us. In the south came all the great trail magic, with Boots Off Hostel serving us hot food and beer at Gooch Gab. I ran into Fresh Grounds a few days later, serving amazing grilled cheese and chili until I could not stomach anymore. The Smoky Mountains had some enormous blowdowns taking part of the earth with them. After the Smokies, I had 6 trail angels with grocery store loads of trail magic for me one day after the other. Hostels between Hot Springs and Damascus were closed or damaged due to Hurricane Helene. Hikers were staying in Hot Springs to volunteer. Base Camp, who got his trail name for carrying 60 to 70 pounds, stayed at Hot Springs volunteering for 3 weeks. It was a tremendous rebuilding effort taking place at Uncle Johnny's Hostel. The bridge was out in Irwin, and the ATC paid a local rafting company to shuttle hikers across the river. I was the first official hiker across. The trail was rerouted through the damage. The trail was almost empty and bug-free from the cold all the way to Maine. A hostel worker at Woods Hole gave me my new trail name, MLB, because we talked about baseball for an hour or two. Vermont slowed me down as my rain gear could not keep up. I saw one seasoned hiker crying as we fought our way through the state. Blowdowns were very common the last 3/4 of the trail. It snowed on us all the way to the top of Katahdin, where 2 hikers were found dead near the summit, and I was given my money back for camping at the birches until their bodies could be brought down. All that and so much more. That's such a sad event to take place at the same time as an otherwise victorious moment. MLB was also the second northbounder to summit Katahdin this year, missing the first by just a day.
I've been waiting years to do this, so I'm able to do it now, 51. Anxious, excited, all of the above. I've hiked Mount Katahdin probably about a dozen times, but back when I was 14, I was going there with a more of a youth group. It was an explorer group, and we were out Mount Katahdin, and there were different trails. We always took Heel and Taylor up, and then we took A-Ball, or we took different trails down. But I remember he pointed over to the one, and then I said, "Well, we never took that trail. Where's that?" He's like, "Oh, that takes you to Georgia." Like, what? He goes, "Yeah, that's the start of the Appalachian Trail," and I was hooked from then on, actually. So.
That's so cool. And now you're headed to go see that sign again.
Yes, I am. Just from a different trail.
After finishing the hike, David says, "What an amazing adventure. Unbelievable experience. Had the best time. Too much to describe. We had 3 days of rain from March 1st to September 25th. Wow, no wonder we had trouble finding water."
I'm very excited and eager to just get started. There's been a lot of planning and prep that has gone into this. So it's finally here, and it's just time to get going. My boyfriend and I started dating about 4 years ago. Before we had met, I had hiked, but not as extensively. And then once we started dating, he introduced me a little bit more, and he always said it was his big life goal that he wanted to do. So I figured what better thing to do than do it together.
A big surprise was waiting for Casey at the end of the trail. But let's hear from our partner, Alex, first.
So I'm hiking with my girlfriend of 4 years. Her name's Casey. We have been preparing for this for, loosely for me, 10 years. Together, probably about 2. And then, seriously, like 2 years. We went as far as we bought a freeze dryer. We freeze dried over 360 pounds of food just as a supplemental plan for hiker boxes. So we'll have family send us that stuff. So it's been like a long journey. And a lot of people say the hardest thing about the trail is just starting. We had to quit our jobs, cancel insurance, get life insurance policies, do all this stuff just in preparation, as well as getting in shape. It's just, I could go on and on. So, I've been looking forward to this day for like years, and it's finally here. So it's just, I don't know, it doesn't feel real yet, I guess. We're big hikers, so we live in New Hampshire. We've hiked all the 4,000 plus mountains in New Hampshire. So most of our experience is in the Whites, which a lot of people regard as the hardest part of the AT. And I realized, this is a dream of mine, like a lifelong dream. And if I don't do it now, at the age of 29, I might not ever do it. I've seen too many people who have a lifelong goal, and they either don't make it to retirement to do that lifelong goal, or when they do, they're not in good shape. And, we don't have kids right now, don't have a mortgage, anything, big commitments. So we're able to just kind of put our stuff down and do this. And I don't know if that opportunity is going to be again in the future.
173 days later, they both finished on August 20th. Alex says, "It was tough, amazing, wonderful. Once we summited Katahdin, I got down on one knee and proposed. She had no clue. Since then, we headed home to northern New Hampshire and have been enjoying life off trail in our new but old life together. We couldn't be happier."
I'm from North England, Yorkshire. I've been thinking about doing it for years. When Bill Bryson's book first came out, I was one of those people, but it was that 30 years ago. I'd forgotten all about it, and then started doing various other hikes in the UK and around Europe. And this one said, it just came calling. All the intentions, everything that I thought I'll have this lined up, this lined up, this lined up. Very little of that actually fell into place, but it doesn't matter. Tomorrow morning, I'm just going to put one foot in front of the other and see how it goes. And then hopefully Mount Katahdin in 6 months' time, somewhere around there. So I had all this idea of I'd keep my fitness levels up, get myself all my gear and everything. I've got most of my gear, that was good, but I desperately wanted to go to REI when I first arrived. Other stores are available, I'm sure, but REI was just sort of like the mecca for me. I went to an REI about 20 years ago when I came to the States, and I just homed in on that. And the guys there, the one in Atlanta, were brilliant. I was having lots of problems with phone tech and stuff. So yeah, they went out of the way over and beyond what they were doing to help me out. And that was great. And that was, for me, the whole journey, getting here, so many people just helped me. And I'm a really independent person. It's not very good at asking for help. It's all come together. It's coming together.
I was lucky enough to catch James, now second breakfast, at trail days.
Viking and I have this saying in the morning, one foot in front of the other. That's all we have to do, just put like one foot in front of the other, and then we're getting a step closer. At the worst sort of hilly bit, we just know one step, a little bit further, and you'll get up there eventually. We know eventually we'll get there. So the challenge is that shelter at the end of the day, with the next challenge being, or the next thing you're looking forward to is your next resupply day. Maybe it's the next hostel and the next shower that you're going to have. We're going longer and longer without showers. 7 days is about the max we want to have a shower before then. When you get out of a county, that is exciting. Leaving Georgia for the first time properly, leaving North Carolina, definitely leaving Tennessee. It's great. Virginia is going to be a little bit longer because it's the biggest state that we're going through, 600 plus miles, but I'm already quite looking forward to getting out of it. Sorry, Virginia.
At the end, this is how he really felt about the trail. Now he's back at work, settling down, wondering what he actually did for 6 months. Trying to put it into a soundbite for colleagues is hard.
I'm feeling excited, looking forward to the unknown. I wish I had more time with my gear, getting my gear together, but I'm not too concerned about it. There's a lot of resupply places that are on the way, and the trail will provide. I had the time and had the opportunity to do it, and so it took me about a week or so to decide to do it, and that was 2 months ago. And since then, I've just been running and gunning, trying to find out my gear and learn everything I can. I think it's going to be mentally challenging. I think the mental is a lot more than the physical. It's the day in and day out. I think time will move a little slower out there, and just really test my mental strength.
Charlie, now hangman, summited on August 5th. There's no doubt that was an incredible day he'll always remember, but the fact that it was his 32nd birthday made it all the more special.
Excited, I'm ready to go. I feel like I've been waiting for this moment for a long time now, so just a lot of energy. So kind of a similar story as my father. We've both been hiking for several years now. We did the approach trail back in 2019, and that really got us into it. And it's also just been something I've wanted to do for as long as I can really remember. That was one of my big goals on my bucket list.
Blaze was starting the hike with his dad, Scott.
I'm excited. I am a little nervous too. It's a lot of different emotions at once. We've been doing a lot of section hiking for several years now. We did our first section hike on the AT in 1999. So I think that first time I set my foot on the trail, I was addicted and knew I wanted to do thru hike sometime.
Scott, now Papa Bear, writes, "I'm proud to announce that Papa Bear and Nature Beast completed the trail together and touched the sign on Katahdin on July 2nd. Our start date was March 1st, so it was a total of 125 days. During our journey, we took 5 zeros, mini Neros, and a 6-day vacation to attend the Indy 500 annual race on Memorial Day weekend. This was such a wonderful experience. I've been off trail for 3 months now, and I still don't have the words to accurately describe this journey. I feel greatly blessed to not only have the opportunity to attempt a thru hike, but the reality of hiking the entire trail with my son was simply amazing. We had many challenges, mostly with the weather, and some with my health. Early on I suffered from blisters until I figured out the right shoes for me. The new shoes had a significantly lower heel-to-toe drop, so then I suffered with Achilles tendonitis. A constant struggle for me the entire trip was an arthritic hip that after completing the trail, I have now found out that is bone on bone and will need a replacement hip. Lastly, I had a fall at Raven Rock in Maryland, broke a trekking pole, and turned my ankle. Luckily, Nature Beast was there to help me through it all, and fortunately he did not suffer any significant health issues. Nature Beast started medical school soon after, and Papa Bear returned to his 30-year career as an engineer. He says he's now missing the trail, looking for opportunities for weekend hikes, and starting to decide what the next big adventure will be. What makes you want to hike the AT?
Well, it exists. So, it's like it's just out there, and you feel like, it's a challenge, ready to step up, ready to make it work.
Bryce made it to Connecticut, then had a giant tree almost come down on him and a few other hikers. Luckily, no one was hurt, but he had to get off trail about 70 miles after that. It was a great experience, and he's hoping to return for the miles he had left.
I've made a couple of other attempts, and I really want this to be the one that succeeds. So with that comes a certain amount of anticipation and nervousness, because this has got to be the one. I've got to make this happen this time. So my birthday is 2 days before the official closing of Katahdin, so I feel it'll be my 50th this year. So that just seems like sort of, a certain synchronicity, serendipity. That would be a perfect way to end my journey of the last 5 years, being in and around trail, working at hostels, and helping out other hikers. I did an attempt in 21 that I did 1,100 miles in 7 months, finishing with helping Nimblewell Nomad with his hike, his age record hike in 21. Last year I set out on a hike. I only got about 600 miles done. It was I was doing it as sort of a memorial hike in memory of my mom who passed. just a few months earlier, but that hike became something different, and I only got about 600 miles done. Over the last 5 years, I've done 2,500 miles altogether on the trail, so averaging 500 a year, with some years being less and some being more. The community, the you know, communing with nature, just all of it. It's just for me, you know, it's always been hard sort of finding a place to belong, and on trail I feel like I found that. You know, I found that place to belong.
Here's Kitchen Sink's update from trail days.
A little more physical pain. I'm getting older, and it's getting harder, getting older, and not losing as much weight as I had hoped. So that's been a lot of what's been slowing me down. So between either emotional episodes or physical pain, but I'm still going. I'm still moving forward. I've done 200 miles so far this season, and I did jump to get up to here. I am going to hike out of here. I'm not going to go back and do those 200 miles or whatever, however many it is, 250, because everything south of here I've done 2 or 3 times. Mm-hmm. My mom passed about 1.5 years ago due to heart disease, and so being aware of that, it's really important to me to try to get some weight off and keep it off. As I said, my mom passed, and we never had any kind of a ceremony or goodbye, so in September we're going to have a basically just a backyard barbecue to finally say goodbye, and then bury her ashes in the cemetery. And I have some of her ashes with me that I do sprinkle on trail occasionally. I hope to summit Katahdin. I won't be able to summit it as the end of a full through, but I'll be able to summit it as a celebration of what I have accomplished this year.
Kitchen Sink struggled with an injury and changed his goal from a through hike to covering miles he hadn't done before in order to achieve a complete section hike of the AT. Then he got the chance to help a hiker named Legend get through the Mahoosics, as he had previously done for another older hiker. Legend made history this year as the oldest woman to hike the AT at 80 years old. After completing the Mahoosics together, Kitchen Sink returned to the Cabin Hostel in Andover, Maine, where he'd worked in years past and spent the rest of the season helping hikers. His mother's memorial that he mentioned didn't happen because the location canceled and the funds for the burial and headstone weren't there anyway. He continued to spread her ashes, especially in meaningful or scenic places. She never traveled more than 100 miles away from where she was born, so her remains resting in places far and wide is really meaningful. By the time his 50th birthday arrived, Kitchen Sink was no longer in shape to hike Katahdin. He felt that helping hikers at the cabin was where he was meant to be anyway. He's currently creating and selling trail art and considering going back for yet another year on trail.
Yeah, I'm excited for the adventure. It's been a plan for a long time to do the AT. I haven't done any other through hiking, so it's my first go at it. But I'm excited. Yeah, can't wait. Weather's perfect too today. Really 2 reasons. The sense of adventure. I like to be out in the woods, the solitude mostly, and then I'm doing the hike for charity for Make-A-Wish Foundation. So I've been a donor in the past, and I think they're just a really good organization. So I just reached out, and they set me up with a fundraising page, and that's what I'm going to be doing. My trail name's going to be Treehouse, or is Treehouse, starting today. I'm excited for the journey. 135
days later, Treehouse would summit on July 13th. He kept an online journal at trailjournals.com that detailed his daily experiences.
I have no idea what tomorrow's going to bring. Yeah, one day at a time, one step in front of the other, but I'm excited. It was a bucket list for me for many years, but I didn't have the opportunity, and now my kids are all grown. My mother's in a safe place now, so it's like now's the time while I still can do it. What do I picture it to be like? Just a walk in the woods. walk in the woods, and you know, it's the change is going to be like the backpacking. I've hiked day hikes all my life, but I've never backpacked. So that's going to be the new part. Hanging the trail, or hanging the bag or whatever. I got to learn all that, but it'll be a learning experience. You're never too old to learn new stuff.
Roxana, who was given the trail name Idiot Runner, started March 2nd and finished August 16th. She was featured on the news for being one of the oldest hikers to complete the trail this year, at 70 years old. She says the trail family, or tramily, she met along the way was amazing. They met in the Smokies and traveled together off and on right up to the end. Now that the gear is cleaned off and put away, and bodies are slowly starting to heal, the memories and sense of accomplishment will remain. Whether a hiker reached Katahdin after covering every step of the 2,197.4 miles, or their journey led them to a different finish line, it's an incredible feat their pre-trail self could only dream of. To these 12 northbounders, and every person that set out on the AT this year, congratulations. As life flows on, never forget how far you've come. And it all started with a single step.